of a new stamp to honor former First Lady Barbara Bush. The unveiling taking place there. You can see current First Lady Melania Trump on hand for this. Let's just listen into this event here on Live Now.
Our nation through the First Lady Barbara Bush postage stamp. And it is now my pleasure to introduce Alice Yates, the Chief Executive Officer of the George and Barbara Bush Foundation.
Thank you. What a special opportunity for family, friends, and loved ones, former staff members to gather here and to honor First Lady Barbara Bush. Wow, that's really beautiful here at the White House. Mrs. Trump, your kindness and generous hospitality is so appreciated. Thank you. Our thanks to Judy. The kind introduction and your remarks were just so lovely. And all the men and women of the United States Postal Service, thank you for recognizing Mrs. Bush in such a meaningful way during her centennial year. I can only imagine, and we talked about it a little bit, the memories that are flooding the minds of the members of the Bush family to be back here in the White House to reflect on your mother, on your Granny, your beloved friend, your mentor, how nostalgic it must feel. And what a privilege to join you for an honor such as this. I want to take a moment to recognize President and Mrs. Bush's son, Neil, and daughter, Doro Bush Cook. You, along with your siblings, know best that George H.W. Bush was the love of Barbara Bush's life. A love so evident they lived out 73 years of marriage. And many would say that there wouldn't be a President George H.W. Bush if it wasn't for Barbara Bush. So we know that. In fact, as your father did so well, and he wrote in a letter, he said, "You have given me joy that few men know." He wrote, "I have climbed perhaps the highest mountain in the world, but even that cannot hold a candle to being Barbara's husband." She was by her husband's side throughout his historic public service career, culminating with his elections as vice president, ultimately president of the United States. Barbara Bush was well prepared for life as America's First Lady. And as First Lady, you heard so many of the amazing accomplishments, but she was a powerful force for change, always. One of her most enduring contributions was her tireless advocacy for literacy, believing in her words that education is a civil right, no matter one's age. She played a key role, as you mentioned, behind the scenes for the National Literacy Act, the bipartisan passage of that legislation. And this legislation elevated the needs of adult learners, which was often an overlooked group, and firmly placed literacy at the heart of American policy. So today's event is a reminder. It reminds us of her inspiring legacy of integrity, grace, service, grit. And at the George and Barbara Bush Foundation, it's our honor every day. We are dedicated to preserving the legacy of President and Mrs. Bush, carrying forward their selfless service and commitment to traditional American values. So whether through our guests at the Presidential Library and Museum, the students at the Bush School of Government and Public Service, or through the literacy education programs throughout the nation, every day that we collectively share the legacy of George and Barbara Bush with others is a good day for our country. So thank you for that opportunity today and for joining us in that effort through this beautiful tribute to First Lady Barbara Bush. We look forward to the first day of issue, June 10th, and the continued impact that we will see as a new generation experiences someone that is held so beloved for all of us that are here today, First Lady Barbara Bush. It's now my honor to introduce the beloved daughter of George and Barbara Bush, Doro Bush Cook.
Thank you so much, Alice. Mrs. Trump, Mrs. Dvorak, distinguished guests, thank you for being part of this special day. Mrs. Trump, we are so grateful to you for hosting us at the White House on this momentous occasion. Being here brings back so many memories for me and my family. My mom always loved to come back and visit, and I know she's watching over us today and reminding me to keep these remarks short. Thank you to the Postal Service. The stamp perfectly captures Mom's poise and dignity. Mom would be so happy that she is featured with her favorite portrait by the great American artist Chas Fagan, who is here today. I'd also like to thank our friend Stuart McLaurin and the White House Historical Association for all they've done to support today's event. Their work is so important to keeping the White House and its amazing history available for all Americans. Barbara Bush, known to many as Mom, Ganny, the Silver Fox, or most famously in our family, the Enforcer, will forever be remembered for her strength, abounding love for family, quick wit, and deep commitment to literacy. At just 16 years old, Mom met the only man she would ever kiss. I watched Susan Ford, and I saw her burst into tears when her mother's stamp was unveiled, and I said, I'm not going to do that. Oh, my God. But anyway, let's see. The only man she would ever kiss at a school dance. 2 years later, she was engaged to George H.W. Bush, beginning a partnership that would span decades and help shape history. Little did she know the adventures ahead. Life with George Bush was never boring. Mom lived through 6 children, 21 grandchildren, at least 27 moves from California to China, 7 wars, 3 dress sizes, 2 governors, 7 parachute jumps, and 2 presidents. When she became First Lady, she transformed the White House into a true home. She hosted hundreds of guests, regularly invited our children and her grandchildren for sleepovers, and even welcomed 6 spirited Springer Spaniels into the mix. Mom told her staff she wanted to do something every day to help others, so that's what she did. She scheduled many events and visits that highlighted a need, helped encourage volunteerism, or focused on literacy. Her signature cause was literacy. She believed that all of the problems in the world would be solved if every man, woman, and child could read, write, and comprehend. In one defining moment, Mom helped shift the national dialogue around HIV/AIDS. During a visit to Grandma's House Hospice in Washington, D.C., she cradled baby Donovan, an infant with HIV. At a time when fear and stigma were rampant, that simple, compassionate act, captured in a photo that made national headlines, spoke louder than words ever could. Mom was never one to shy away from speaking the truth or taking a stand. Her 1990 commencement speech at Wellesley College initially met with resistance, went on to become one of the most celebrated speeches of the 20th century. In it, she encouraged graduates to pursue meaningful relationships over material success, saying, "At the end of your life, you will never regret not having passed one more test, not winning one more verdict, or not closing one more deal. You will regret time not spent with a husband, a child, a friend, or a parent." With her signature white hair and pearls, she became an icon in her own right. And yet, even as a former First Lady, she remained humble and humorous. When recognized at Sam's Club in Houston, she'd often respond, "No, I'm much younger and prettier." Our family is immeasurably blessed to call Barbara Bush our mom. Her legacy lives on, not only in history books, but in the hearts of everyone she touched. It's unlikely that Mom ever pictured herself on a postage stamp. And it's very likely that she would be wondering what all this fuss is about today. But on behalf of my entire family, I can assure you that we are all very proud and grateful for this special tribute. It is now my privilege and honor to introduce the First Lady of the United States, Melania Trump.
Thank you. Welcome, everyone, and welcome, Bush family. It's nice to have you here. Thank you, Doro, for a beautiful introduction, and welcome back to the White House as we honor the life and legacy of your mother, First Lady Barbara Bush. Barbara's unwavering conviction, dignity, and deeply loyal to her loved ones have left an undeniable mark on our hearts and history. Your mother's values can be seen in her family, friends, and former staff who also join us here today and continue her legacy. Many thanks to Alice Yates, CEO of the George and Barbara Bush Foundation, for joining us today. Along with the Barbara Bush Foundation for Family Literacy, you are helping current and future generations to navigate the world with confidence and dignity. And I would like to thank the White House Historical Association and the United States Postal Service, especially Judy Detorak, who made today's event possible. Strong American families are the foundation of a healthy society and serve as a stepping stone towards building a better world. The dynamics within American households shape our nation's core values, strengths, and collective wisdom. It is within the privacy of our homes and the principles of morality, ambition, and empathy take root. The family unit serves as our first line of foresight, often more influential than the decision made in Washington, D.C. Barbara Bush's iconic commencement address at Wellesley College in 1990 remains an important moment in the conversation surrounding women's role in society. Her message, which emphasized the importance of family and personal integrity, encouraged women to carve their own paths in life. Mrs. Bush exclaimed, "Your success as a family, our success as a society, depends not on what happens in the White House, but on what happens inside your house." The First Lady further inspired the audience by highlighting the importance of pursuing personal dreams, stating, "The winner of the hoop race will be the first to realize her dream, not society dreams, her own personal dream. Who knows? Somewhere out in this audience may even be someone who will one day follow in my footsteps and preside over the White House. And I wish him well." Over 35 years have passed since Barbara Bush made the call for a female American president, a reflection of her forward-thinking vision. As a devoted mother and one of only two First Ladies who has son also ascended to the presidency, she embodied the complex interplay of ambition and identity that defies us all. Mrs. Bush's legacy is marked by her respect for tradition, while also breaking with convention. While she is known for championing literacy, she also supported women's empowerment, changed the national conversation on AIDS, and took a stance supporting gay rights. I applaud Mrs. Bush's mark defending our society's vital need for women across all avenues, whether CEO or homemaker. We have can and will build better families and run innovative businesses at the same time, ultimately shaping a brighter future. The unveiling of this commemorative stamp honors Barbara Bush's contributions as First Lady and her enduring impact on our nation. May this tribute inspire us to lead with compassion, act with strength, and uphold the values that direct us toward meaningful existence. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain in your seats until the First Lady departs the East Room. Thank you.
All right, you're just listening in there as Melania Trump, the First Lady, honoring former First Lady Barbara Bush at this stamp unveiling alongside